Welcome to the fifth session of Fratelli Kosulic Banker Academy. This session will be held by Jacopo Pigliapochi and will be on risk management and hedging. I hand over to you, Jacopo.
I started the bunkering in the 2006 with a company called Alpha Trading. Then I've worked again in the bunkering industry with them bunkering for other 7 years. And now since 2019, I joined Kosulic back in Genoa. So basically 15 years of just that industry. And what I would like to, or what I have been asked to, is if we can go away from this session knowing a little bit what is a swap and how can be used in our daily business while offering and buying bunkering, and also what does mean risk management and hedging, because there will be many occasions that you are out with clients, with suppliers, and someone starts talking about risk management and hedging, and maybe some of you have no clue what is it. So we can start and see how we try to present it. What is this beep beep? Can you hear the same?
Yeah, it's when someone joining is the
okay, very good.
There's someone that says, okay, it is in.
Okay, sorry. Okay, we can proceed with our, again, it is very quick, very short presentation on what is risk management and what is a hedge and what is a swap, because otherwise it would be simply too long. So we are used to do what when we purchase bunker? We do basically mainly on a daily basis a back-to-back operation. So we buy, we sell, we add our margin, and we hopefully bring home our business. Is there any risk? Not really, because as soon as we sold, we go straight to the physical supplier and we try to buy at best. So we don't stay with any open position, therefore we don't have any risk. So anytime that we are in a position that we buy something that we don't know what is, so we don't buy a firm price, but we buy basically basis a floating price, and we are asked to sell basis a firm price, over there we have a risk, because we are asked to sell basis a firm price, but we don't know what we are going to buy. How can we manage that? How can we manage the risk of the market? Here we're talking about price risk, right? So only that part of risk. How can we manage the price risk if the markets all of a sudden will rise up and we are stuck with a formula price? Yeah, go on, please. So basically, we buy basis a floating price from a physical supplier. Everybody knows what is a floating price. Is a price given by a formula, so which is not a firm, it's not 520, it's not 530, is basically a formula that is normally can be Cargo Singapore plus 5, Medsif gas oil minus something, which gives at the end of the day the firm price. What do we do with that formula? How can we offer a firm price to a client? We take that formula and we knock the door to one of these guys called swap providers. Many of you, I know Pietro knows that very well because he does that on a daily basis. Federica knows as well, Denise as well. I think Barry, of course, does too. So there are some companies that their job is to receive from people like us these formula prices and give us back a fair price. How can that be possible? Let's see with some examples and with the next slides, how can it be possible? It is possible because they do, and you do at the same time, and hedge. What is a hedge? Hedge is meaning like an insurance, right? That anything that is going to be the market, no matter how much the market will rise up, then your price you buy, you hedge your formula, the price you buy is that one. So very easily we can define that every time we get a formula price from a supplier, we can make a hedge and offer them a fair price to our clients. If our clients require, for example, price far ahead and no physical are interested to offer a firm price, we can still help our clients managing their risk. Okay, this is pretty clear. We can go on and see what we can hedge. We can hedge anything basically. We can hedge futures. We can hedge crudes, high gas oil, swaps, and option contracts. We are going to talk about only hedging of swaps. Okay. Because that is basically what you would be able to see if you start thinking on bunkering a little bit more like that. What is a swap? Hedging on a swap, it creates an equal and opposite financial exposure to a physical position. It protects you against major adverse price change and mitigate or avoid market risk. So there will be over there a risk. So that is, I know that reading very quickly this kind of definition doesn't help you, but I'm pretty sure with the next example, even the ones that have never touched base with swaps, they will be able to understand what does it mean. So don't be afraid. Again, another definition, and that is basically the last definition of the presentation, that I will invite you to read after we went through our few examples. So the swap contract is a fixed price contract to buy or sell, which settles in cash at a specified time in the future against an agreed market price at that time. The characteristics are that the swap is never deliverable, like a future. Is a contract for difference and is made by a fixed price leg and a floating price leg. At the end of the period, so at the settlement, the floating price becomes fixed and parties are settled for difference. What does it mean? Because like that, nobody, who at least has no idea what a swap is, so can understand anything. And that is pretty clear. Again, this is a second definition that I will invite you to read afterwards. Our quick example. Okay, so far we are here, just to make a quick recap. We are not on a back-to-back position. So our clients, for example, is asking us something in the future, and there's no supplier that is willing to give you a fair price, because today the market is at $65 per barrel on crude, but God knows what is going to be when the client is going to ask. So we have this mismatch situation where our clients want a firm price, but we are not capable to buy back-to-back a firm price. What are our possibilities? Can I still offer something to the client? Yes, we can. Let's see an example with the next slide. If you can read it, I'm on my mobile. We made a very quick example. We said, okay, we have our client asking for the vessel Bellissima, of course, being in Italian, in the supply port Genoa for the 22nd of March. And they want 400 tons of very low sulfur. I said, oh God, today is the 24th of Feb. The client is asking us something in almost a month. Normally, and we know, for example, in Genoa, but I think in many other ports, not the big hub, but in many ports, it's difficult to get a firm price for that time ahead. So what do? We managed to find, so we can buy from a refinery can be any suppliers, right? Sorry. We can buy from the refinery a floating price. So we get a formula price. And here we have our formula price. That is the CIF-Med gas oil 01 full March average minus a discount of $30 per ton. So our price is not a fixed price, but it's a formula given by high CIF-Med gas oil 01 average of the full March month minus 30. So what do? First of all, we go and see and check what was the latest closing of the high CIF-Med gas oil. We look at it and say, the latest closing is $460 per ton. I would love to buy basis $460, that is today. But here we're talking about a delivery that is going to be in the next month. So how can that be possible? Can you do that on a back-to-back situation? No. But if you get that formula, you take that formula, you go to the swap suppliers. So you knock the door and say, guys, I have this formula. What kind of fixed price you can give me? And they can give you some fixed price. So we provide to swap suppliers our formula price. The swap provider, sorry again, I'm getting better. The swap provider will give you a price that is, we said as example, 466. 466 is not really 460, it's a little bit higher. And yeah, is it ideal? No, actually, I would have loved to have 460, but since it is something that is going to happen in a month, then maybe I can deal with 466, even though it is not as competitive as I thought. So I have the 466. I take off the discount, $30. 436 is my buying. I can offer my client. I managed to fix at 440. What is my margin? Is $4 per tons. How can that be possible? Why, if you're buying basis the average of the next month, how can you know that that is going to be your profit? We have two situations, right? So the first scenario is this one. The actual full March average is going to be 480, so higher than our 466 swap. So what do? We have to pay 480 to the refinery. It's not that we say, hey guys, we thought we have 466, we calculate our business basis 466, can you do 466? No, it was clear. You got that formula. So you have to pay $480 per ton to the supplier. Okay, but how can I keep my margin? The swap provider will return you back the exact difference of 480 minus 466, giving $14 per tons. That way, you will keep exactly the $4, which was your profit. So for us, it's no risk. Yeah, that is the key of the question. So we manage the risk for us. Why? We buy basis a floating price, where in theory, we do have a risk because we have the risk that the month average, it's higher, like scenario one. But since we made a swap and then we manage our risk, we handle our risk, we have no risk. We have no risk. Let's see the scenario two, the month average. But please go on question if you had it. I will be happy to interrupt myself. The second scenario gives the month. You're welcome. Gives the month average lower than our swap, 455. Said, oh, I will pay the refinery lower than my 466. I will keep extra margin. No, man, no, you don't do, because if the average is going to be lower than your swap, 466 is a swap, you have to return this time to the swap provider the difference, in this case $11 per tons, and your margin will remain exactly the same, $4 per tons. So here is why we say risk management. We manage our risk and we don't get exposed on any open position, because otherwise we probably can be fired for doing something like that. All good? Hope so. Then let's so far risk management, what does it mean? You find yourself not in a back-to-back situation. You buy basis a formula price. You don't know what is going to be your fixed price in the future. You make a hedge. You buy a swap. Easy peasy.
Do you want to come back to the previous slide, or shall we do it later on?
We can do later on. We can go on. Okay. Otherwise, it will take too much time. So we have a second case, very, very easy. We took one of Barry's client, Oldendorf, and Oldendorf is looking at crude oil. It's now in February. We had already 1 year of coronavirus. everybody hoping that with the new campaign of vaccination, the markets and the economy and everything is going to rise up. They look at the crude oil and thinks the trend for the year is in huge contango. We haven't put any definition of contango backwardation because Glenda told me that you have been through already this kind of definition. So quickly, contango, meaning that they think, or the curves show that at the end of the year, the market will be higher than what is it now. Sorry, I'm coughing like hell. My kids, they attach me this crap. Sorry. So what do they want, Oldendorff? Oldendorff would love to secure today market price against their future need, for example, of a period of May to December for a quantity about, we assume, 5,000 tons per month. Okay, you are with me? So basically, Oldendorff looking at the crude. Oh God, I know that in May, June, July, until December, I will need at least 5,000 tons per month in Singapore. I would love to buy those quantity at today's price because I'm pretty sure I can put some money on that the market on in that period will be higher. What can I do? Who you gonna call? Oldendorff calls Barry. Barry said, okay, let me see what I can do. We see the option one. We managed to, or you managed to find a supplier willing to provide a formula price. So similar to the motor vessel Bellissima we have just seen in Genoa. And the supplier gives you a formula for that quantity, 5 KT per month of that product, very low sulfur, at the formula of Singapore 05 FOB, cargo Singapore 05 FOB plus 5. Okay? What do you do, guys? You take that formula, you knock the door of one of these swap provider, you ask the best fixed price, you offer Oldendorff. If you're lucky and if you're good, then you fix the deal. Okay? At the end of the period, every time you will settle your position like we did in the scenario in the previous example. We don't go through again with all the mathematical example because I really hope the mechanism is clear to you. Otherwise, we go through afterwards if you have questions. But actually, you can raise anytime any question. The difficulties, and I think is maybe as we spoke with Glenda on the option two is one of the example a little bit different than what you can do normally, because let's take, for example, that there's no physical supply interested to give you even any firm or formula price. I say, guys, come on. I mean, are you asking me to commit myself with a firm price for May, December 2021? Forget. Okay, but please at least give me a formula. I will make a swap. I'm cool. I will give my client a firm price. No. Listen, I can't neither give you a formula because the formula means that I will know, or I know what is going to be my cost for that period. And I probably know what is my cost for March, April, but I can't really know what is going to be on the second half of the 2021. So forget. Tell your client to be patient, and we will see when we will be closer to ETA. I said, no, I can't really say that to Oldendorff. What can I propose? So we can propose to our client to hedge a commodity, so the same volume of a commodity, which reflects the fuel 05 trend as much as possible. And for example, we can hedge, we can make a swap on ICE gas oil. Yeah, and then what do we do? Let's see, what do we do? So basically, we buy, as we bought before our swap basis formula. Now we don't have any formula, but we still want to manage our client's risk. And how we do it? We buy 5 KT per month of ICE gas oil. We can buy or sell ICE gas oil swap every moment at any time of this on 24 hours, because it is a very liquid market. And we buy that quantity for the period the client is asking, May, December 2021. So every time the client will buy his bunker on spot basis, so what is going to happen is now the 24th of February, I call my swap provider and say, mate, I don't have any formula. I know that I'm going to lift up that quantity for that period. I would like to manage my risk, to handle my risk, and stay as closer as possible to today's levels of bunker. So please, I would like to buy 5 KT basis May, June, July up to December of ICE gas oil. Okay, today, now on 24th of February, ICE gas oil today was Pietro. What is ICE gas oil today? Petruzzo. Huh. It's not there. He's working. So it was 550, 540 probably. So we buy this ICE gas oil. Okay. Then it is May, and we received the first vessel from Oldendorf, and they want to buy the 5 KT in Singapore. They buy it, but they buy it at a very high level because the market meantime increased a lot. So they haven't hedged, they haven't managed their risk. In theory, yes, because they buy on spot on May at a very high market level, but at the same time, they sell into the paper market their position they bought on February. Doing that procedure, doing that operation, what you gain on the paper market will mitigate your high price of the bunker you're buying on May. Are you with me? Guys, give a sign.
Tutti muti, they are all mute, so
They're all mute.
he has raised.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I hope it is. Didn't quite understand that one. That is, thank you from the. Okay, okay. So it is a bit different. So here again, you don't have any formula, right? So you can't buy a firm price. You can't buy neither a formula price because the period is very far ahead. Okay, so there is the possibility in the swap market to buy a commodity that it goes together with our fuel oil that we sell every day to our clients, and we can do that anytime, no matter if we have some volumes or not. So basically, we buy the ICE gas oil. That is like when you're looking at have you ever looked at the screen where like Reuters or Platts, and then you see the crude, you see the ICE gas oil, you buy some quantity of that product, ICE gas oil. I made an example, but you could buy anything. So you buy ICE gas oil at today's market price. Today, February, the ICE gas oil is 550. I don't have the screen in front of me, but it's probably there. Let's assume that it's 550. Okay, so you buy 5,000 tons time the period, so the 6 months, at 550, and you buy this position on paper. So we said that the swap is never deliverable. It means that it's nothing physical. You bought some paper because you assume that in the future the market is going to be higher. Okay, so yeah, sorry, I was reading your messages. So you bought this position. It's now February. You hang on, you wait. It's now April, May, and then the market from 550 on ICE gas oil when you bought in February, it went to 700. So wow, I bought some paper in February. I'm now in May, and what I bought before at 550, and the value is now 700. If you sell that position, and you can sell that paper, is your right to sell it at any time, you will gain the difference. It won't be exactly $150 per tons, but very close to. So you basically, you are gaining, you are making some profit. but at the same time, you are buying with your vessel in May something physical, and you're buying the very low sulfur, not at the February price how you wanted, because you couldn't, but you are buying at the present market level, which is higher than February. So what you are losing with your buying your physical bunker, you gain selling back your position you did it in the past. A little bit more clear? Miguel, you're a star. Let's go on, because it's already half an hour, and Glenda told me that we're not going to, we should last less, correct?
Yeah.
Glenda, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I will try to go very quickly to the how we calculate the credit line, the margin call into a swap, because it's very important, because it doesn't mean you can sell a swap to any of your clients. You have to consider that you could have an exposure selling this position. So let's do it quickly through an example, and then we see if we have time afterwards to go through some question marks. So let's take an example. We have a client with a credit line that Joe gave 1.5 million for bunkering purpose. We plan to sell to the client the following swap: 1,000 tons per month from July, December of ice gas oil at 550, again 550. So what is going to be my exposure? My exposure is not 1,000 tons times 550, because if the market stays the same, so if the ice gas oil doesn't move and I sell back my position, I don't have any loss. If the client goes belly up and I sell it back, I have all my money back, right? So you don't have to, when you buy a swap, you don't have to buy, you don't have to give any money up front. It's going to be just a settlement at the end of the period, okay? So how we calculate our position? Let's go on the, so the Fratelli Kosulic policy on how to apply a credit line for swap preview that the credit line is a third of the full credit line. So the credit line for swap is then a third, so $500,000. We sold to the client at 550, right? The market all of a sudden falls, and the ice gas oil from 550 goes to 470. So the position overall lose $80 per tons. 80 times the 1,000 tons per month for 6 months gives $480,000. So basically, we sold something to our clients, and then after some time, the market lose value, and the client's position lose value itself, and it lost $480,000. We said that the credit line we want to give to the clients 500,000. So as soon as their position will lose an amount equal to the credit line we gave, 500K, we will apply something which is called margin call. So basically, the client will have to pay to us, to Fratelli Kosulic, back the margin call, the $500,000. And as soon as the period is going to end, we settle and we see if this 500K we have to keep it or to give it back, or if the market is going to increase, so won't stay anymore to 470, but will go higher to 550 again, then we will have to give back the money. This is a little bit more complicated, but it's the last point I would like to present you today. So basically, are 3 things. When we are not on a back-to-back position, it acts like a stop loss. No, it doesn't act like a stop loss. Let's say it acts like that, but it's different. Stop loss means that you decide that whenever the market will go lower, for example, $50 lower than what you bought, your position is closed. Here, your position, unless you decide, is not closed. It's just that, and as soon as your loss, and you're right, calling it loss, is the credit line we decide it is, then the client has to pay us back. And this is something that has to be presented and agree while you offer your swap to the client. So you have to always present to your client the swap, all the criteria, all the comments, remarks, and what is the margin call. So the margin call is as soon as the position has a loss of what we think is their credit line worth, then they have to pay us back. It is a stop loss for us in a way, but yeah. And why is a third of the full credit line? Is because when you sell some bunker, you sell it to a boat, and if shit hits the fan, then you can go after a vessel. Here you can't go after anything if the client goes belly up.